Hello, once again, welcome and well zooming. Once again, thank you everybody staying back for the equally important empowerment of teachings. Even though people attend a empowerment session, but if they don't have the knowledge how to do the practice formally, they often haven't really followed through. So, so therefore, here we have a session to give us teaching on the practice called sadhana. Sadhana is a Sanskrit word which is the manual, the text, how to practice the sadhana of the deity yoga. So because this is Avalokiteshvara, that's called Avalokiteshvara sadhana. If you do Tara, there will be Tara sadhana. So sadhana is a Sanskrit word for the actual text manual for the practice, and the practitioner is called sadhaka. Sadhaka. Sadhaka means practitioner, person who is the practitioner. Yeah? And when a practitioner practices the sadhana, he will receive siddhi. Siddhi. Siddhi is means attainments. It's like a spiritual feat, spiritual power. If you receive siddhi, then there are two types of siddhi. There's a common siddhi and uncommon siddhi. Common is worldly, mundane, but still useful, and uncommon is a transcendental siddhi, siddhi of enlightenment. So therefore, the purpose of doing sadhana is so that you actually see a result in you, whether it's common or uncommon. You actually see a new sense of shift in you. So the siddhi of Avalokiteshvara sadhana is to turn yourself as a compassionate person. We shouldn't think the compassion as a nature of the person or character of person. Compassion can be cultivated, yeah? Like if you don't have a vegetable garden in your backyard, it's not because it doesn't grow, but you didn't cultivate it. So you don't say, I don't have vegetable, but never cultivate it. So likewise, if we cultivate the vegetable, it will grow. Likewise, if we cultivate compassion through the meditation, then you will develop compassion. You will see how much compassion saves you from reaction, overreaction. So therefore, purpose of sadhana is to help you to boost your ability to practice compassion. And so I hope all of you got the text of the sadhana with you. And I'm firm believer of empowerment and following by a sadhana teaching. If not, then the disciples do not know how to practice. Some never receive the sadhana, let alone teaching on it. I don't know how they are helped. So therefore, if possible, you should learn to do regularly. If not, at least you know whenever you can do periodically. So this sadhana you have is written by Ngorchen Konchok Lhundrup. It's a 16th century abbot of Ngor monastery. He is a very popular author in many Sakya writings. So you all have that. I'm going to explain tonight the structure, the meanings, symbolism, and then most importantly, application into everyday life. So first I'll explain briefly on the structure. The structure of the sadhana is divided into three parts. That is the preliminary, the main sadhana, and the conclusion. The preliminary consists of lineage guru prayer, generation taking refuge, and then generation of bodhicitta. So that is the preliminary. The main meditation is yourself dissolving into emptiness and then becoming Avalokiteshvara as we went through the empowerment. So we'll go through. And then you pray to the Guru, Amitabha on top of your head, and then recite, meditate on the meaning of emptiness. So you become Avalokiteshvara, but you should see you are not nature light. You are not a fleshy, bubbly person, but you are nature light. And then with that sense of being yourself as a union of compassion and Mahamudra, then you recite the Om Mani Padme Hum, whatever you are able to do. If time permits, you also recite the long dharani. So that's the main part. And the conclusion of that is you are then dissolving yourself into and then dedication merits. So that's the just brief outline of the structure. Now detailed explanation of the structure, and then with that I will talk about the contents and the symbolism and the application. The first is the lineage guru prayer. The lineage guru prayer, I will not go for word, is invocation of the lineage gurus by calling the name of this particular lineage guru, starting with the Shakyamuni Buddha and all the way, and then through the great Jetari. Jetari is the Indian master, and then who gave it to Dorje Dempa, that's the Vajrasana brothers, and then the Tibetan Bari Lotsawa. So while you call upon the names of all these lineage gurus, you should visualize on top of your crown, as it says in the text, first line on the lineage guru, upon a lotus on my head, sits upon my head, precious Guru in glory, in the form of Amitabha. So you should visualize on top of your crown is Amitabha. Amitabha is the Guru, Amitabha is the Buddha, Amitabha is the Dharma, his body is Sangha, his speech is the Dharma, his mind is the Buddha, and his form is the Guru. So therefore, Guru Amitabha, you visualize on top of your head, on top of your lotus, and usually I recommend people to put like a bell, like here, like that, on top of your head. Like you have a bell, and then when you're sitting meditation, you got to feel the presence of the bell, isn't it? Otherwise, you would fall there. So, I mean, I don't think you have to put a bell necessarily, but if you have one, most Vajrayanis got a bell, and you can't ring them very often, so you might as well use it. Put on your head and feel the weight of the bell, and think through. Then chant the lineage guru prayer, and then think it is Amitabha's holy presence that is on top of your head. You're calling each of the lineage gurus to give you blessings. You're praying to each and every one. You're making reconnection to each of the lineage gurus. You know, if you have connection with His Holiness Sakya Trichen is alive, or His Holiness Dalai Lama, or whoever the important teacher is, imagine how important that is to you to have him. Imagine you're reconnecting with all his teacher goes all the way to Bari Lotsawa, and Bari Lotsawa all the way to Vajrayana Pada. So that's what we're doing. We're trying to imagine Amitabha onto your head, and then you are praying to bless your mind, bless your body, bless your speech, to have compassion, and so on. So when you're doing the lineage guru prayer, you should stay very present, sit very still. I call this 4S. You have to have a still posture. Posture should be very still when you're meditating. And your motivation should be very sincere. That's second S. Third is your attention should be very serene. So you're very, very clear. So you have to do, know, and see and feel. You should sit still and chant the lineage guru prayer sincerely, and your attention should be clearly seeing Amitabha on top of your head. You shouldn't be distracted by anything. and you should feel completely blessed and fortunate. With this in mind, that is the how you do the lineage guru prayer. And it blesses your mind and thoughts by merely recalling each of the holy names. So it's a very powerful way to call the holy names of the great beings, and each of them will bless you in one way or another. You should believe that. And then when you finish that, imagine the Guru Amitabha bless you totally. So that is the meaning, that's the content of the lineage guru prayer, yeah? And the symbolism of that is that your mind needs to be completely fused with the mind of the Buddha, the lineage gurus, in each of the lineage gurus. So therefore you want to have your mind to be completely fused with their blessed mind stream. So that's the symbolism. And then application of that is that you should think every day that your mind is a mind of the Amitabha. In every day, wherever you are, you should say, oh, how would Amitabha say? How would Avalokiteshvara would think? You should always think of that. That's application of the reciting the lineage guru prayer, okay? So that's that. Now comes the generation of taking refuge and the generation bodhicitta, the main part of the preliminary. So now you visualize that in the room where you're sitting, the room where you're sitting becomes a beautiful, peaceful sanctuary of peace. And you should make your room of practice as inviting and as conducive as possible for you to practice. So if you have a room like that, now in the meditation, you even dissolve that room into emptiness, made as a vast celestial palace, only second to Sukhavati. And in there you visualize huge tree above in the space, and then on the tree you visualize Buddha Amitabha. Whether visualize just Amitabha or all of them, this is up to you. In any case, you should visualize that you are your whole refuge object, the Buddha Amitabha, the Dharma Amitabha, the speech, and Sangha Amitabha, the form, and the Guru Amitabha, all are in the form of Amitabha. And then you and all sentient beings are present. You and all sentient beings, your father on your right, mother on the left, and all your friends and difficult people in the front. And you should think, I will have to be kind to these people. I shouldn't think it's their fault. I have to practice kindness to the people. If you have people with difficulties, you should always include them in your daily prayers, that they are with you and you wish them well. You really want them to be free from enmity towards you or anybody. You also want to be free from enmity. Think of them with you and include them in your refuge. Think of all of the people, sentient beings, everywhere from all parts of the world are sitting with you. You're doing the refuge with everyone, for everyone, in the presence of the Guru Amitabha and the root lineage and Gurus, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yidams, Dhamma protectors, all are before you. With that in mind, wholeheartedly, then you do the refuge. Refuge is done physically, verbally, mentally. Physically, you should be in a very devoted posture, like two hands on the chart, or you might even do prostration. I take refuge in the Guru, the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So you try to do that physically when you're reciting the refuge prayer. And verbally, you recite the refuge prayer, yeah? So we got that. I'm not going to go word for word, because I want that you will have time to do. And the gist of that refuge says that who you're going to take refuge to, how long you're going to take refuge until enlightenment reached. Your refuge object is the triple gem, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. And who you're going to refuge with is all sentient beings. From your I and all sentient beings, whose number is uncountable. And why you're going for refuge is we are all so fearful of us going the wrong way, so so compassionate to myself and to others. We have to do the practice of Dhamma And without the Dharma, we are often kind of drifting into the samsara's drama, and therefore we need to take refuge regularly. Not just a prayer, but always remember the triple gem. If you go towards the, you know, east, you should think you're going to meet the Buddha of Buddha. If you're going to south, you're going to meet the Buddha of that direction. If you go to west, you're going to meet the Amitabha. If you go to north, you're going to meet Buddha, the Amoghasiddhi, and so on. So you should always have the mind that your refuge is the Buddha, and the Dharma is your actual refuge. The Sangha is your companion. And so with this in mind, you should really renew every day your refuge when you recite it, and think of everyone in your prayer. When you're taking refuge, means you're going to practice safety, you're going to practice peace, you're going to practice tolerance, you're going to practice compassion, forgiveness. So that's what refuge is. So while during the sadhana, you sit still and praying, doing those physically recite, bow down, verbally recite the refuge prayer, mentally try to be as meaningful and possible, not just merely reciting, but try to feel in the marrows of your bone that why you want to practice Dharma, and so that how you want to put an end to the suffering and their causes by taking refuge. You take up peace and tolerance, compassion. You give up aggression, violence, resentment, and bitterness, and guilt, and so on. That's a real refuge. So therefore, you say the refuge prayers. You physically do the bow downs if you can. If not, just join your hands at the heart and sit still. That will do. But if you have commitment to do prostration, you should do prostration while doing refuge prayers. Very, very important. So Buddhists who don't do the Buddhist practices is not Buddhist. So they have to do the actual. You should get your fingers wet, so to speak, and do the actual prostrations. Don't just watch and take photos other people doing. Why you are taking photos? Why you always watch other people do and admire? Why don't you go and throw yourself on the floor in front of the Buddha's feet? It's very good karma for you. It's very therapeutic, prostration and refuge. And when we do prostrate with refuge, we know that we have lots of arrogance. And your problem with someone in your life is because you are arrogant, they're arrogant, both are not talking to each other. These are the problems. So we are joining our hands in front of Buddha saying, well, I'm going to stop this. I wanted to make friends and turn away from the darkness and go toward light. So that is refuge. Refuge is not asking Buddha to save you, and he doesn't. Buddha never promised to save anyone, has never saved anyone before. But his teaching and practice has. So we have to therefore take refuge sincerely and wholeheartedly, physically, verbally, mentally, and then imagine that all sentient beings who you have invited are also doing physically, verbally, mentally with you to mutually inspire everybody. Here's the wave and these amazing sounds of 100,000 people more gathered together doing the refuge with you. With that kind of serenity and attention and feeling from your marrows of the bones, physically and verbally, you should recite refuge prayer and do the refuge. So that's the that's the actual refuge. And symbolism of that is you have turned from violence to peace, your impatience to tolerance, your hostility to compassion, resentment to forgiveness, and miserliness to generosity. And so you have basically become good. So that's the really meaning of refuge, okay? So prayer is one thing, but you got to know why you're doing this for. You're trying to restitute your own mind, how much safer you are. If you have less and less ill will towards someone, that means, oh, your refuge, your practice, Dharma, sadhana is actually giving you the boon, the blessings. You no longer have the same amount of sadness and hurt and pain or anger towards somebody. you know it's not right and healthy living to hold this. Therefore, you do the refuge prayer 3 times, 4 times, 21 times, 21 times, 100 times, doing prostrate, doing refuge. It's an incredible practice. Here it is a preliminary of the sadhana, but refuge itself can be just do 1 hour refuge, very good for you. And symbolism of that is you don't take refuge in the material world, you don't take refuge in the fame and wealth and positions, relationships. These are all transient, impermanent. You can have some sense of security with someone. You go out, they look nice to you, for a little while, but soon it's become cause of discord. There are lots of people's lives are always into that. So you really don't take refuge in those superficial things. It doesn't mean you don't disregard your friendship with people, you respect them, you love them. Of course, that is very good. But don't invest in this kind of attachment relationship. These are not refuge. These are just completely deceptive. So take refuge in the real Dharma and real friendship. Try to find a Dharma brother, Dharma sister. Don't try to find somebody else to become attached to physically or emotionally and financially. They are not refuge. You may need them for certain few occasions, but ultimately you wish you never you never had to do anything with it. But refuge in the Dharma, you will find, never regret that you have Dharma as a refuge. So I tell you that you really, meaning of refuge is that you know exactly how slowly you're restraining your materialistic refuge in possessions and positions, money, power, wealth, status. Those things are not important. They may be necessary, but they are not, should not be your center focus. Your center focus should be the true refuge, that's peace of mind, absence of ill will, and absence of resentment, absence of laziness, absence of discipline. These are refuge. These are real refuge, okay? Real refuge. There's no God out there. There's no demons out there that will neither help you nor harm you. So don't be those Buddhists who believe in all those weird things and then that sort of thing. But of course there are energies that are associated with such spirits. And taking refuge in the name of Triple Gem, Buddha Gem, take refuge in Buddha, take refuge in Dharma. Even you go in some houses placed in the name of refuge, you Triple Gem go there, all bless you, don't worry about it. So the meaning of refuge, you should always remember Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. And whether you're sitting there and meditating Buddha, you can say mentally Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, wonderful, I discovered that, and try to reflect on that. That is a refuge itself, in the remembering the qualities of Buddha's Dharma, Sangha. They say, Sangye yonde samikya, the quality of Buddha is inconceivable. Tamche yonde samikya, quality of Dharma is even more inconceivable. And the quality of Sangha is inconceivable. Samikyapan so that with this inconceivable nature is, if we were contrived, we will practice, and then we will completely be liberated by having this inconceivable gem in you. If you have an ordinary gem, maybe a diamond or turquoise or gold on your body, it's a cause of fear and doubt and suspicion. People may steal it, you may misplace it, you worry away. But this gem of Triple Gem, wherever you wear it, always you go, you're always better with it. It never become cause of worries and anxiety, but it become cause of your safety and your gratitude and your kindness and your gentleness towards other people. So this is the real meaning of refuge. So in application of refuges, you should always be kind to other people, saying, I'm a Buddhist, I shouldn't speak to him like this. I shouldn't think. Let no one be frightened by you through your action or through your words or through your deeds. Let your action be gentle, tolerant, kind, inspiring to other people. and never harm any other living beings in your life. That's the meaning of refuge. That's the kind of application of refuge, you know. So that's a refuge. And then so when you, after you finish doing the refuge, then visualize all the, then you supplicate. Then you make the supplication is basically praying to the Guru and Triple Gem that you are taking refuge physically, verbally, mind, and so then asking to bless your mind to turn to the Dharma. Bless my mind to turn to the Dharma. That's under the supplication. Yeah. Yeah, often our mind is not turning to Dharma. We're turning to aggression with aggression, blame with blame, tit for tat. We're so mean. But if you have refuge, you should turn to the Dharma and read the Dharma teachings, listen to the teaching. It says, don't do any harm, don't do this, don't do that. So that if you turn to the Dharma, whether you're studying, reading, listening, meditating, your mind will say, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't blame somebody, I shouldn't attack somebody, I shouldn't hold a grudge to somebody, I should turn to the Dharma. Bless me, turn to the Dharma. Bless me to reach the Dharma, path of Dharma. So even you turn to the Dharma, but you should walk according to Dharma. However difficult it is, but nevertheless you still just bury your ego and tame your wild mind and try to reach the path of Dharma. Don't just say Dharma, Dharma, but never walk. Try to walk a little bit towards something. Even if somebody has taken something from you, just don't chase after them. Let him go. Because you have reached the path of Dharma. That is let go. If you know how to let go and forgive, you have reached the path of Dharma. Even if you're practicing Dharma in your best ability, doesn't mean your delusion will go away. Your delusion increases. Your delusion looks like it's increasing. Of course, they're not increasing because you're practicing hard. You are noticing them more frequently. So sweep away the delusion on the path. So the delusions are not you. Delusions are not your deed. Delusions are a combination of things. So as you learn to know how to sweep the delusion, if your floor is dirty with a lot of debris, you don't say that's my floor and never sweep it. You should sweep the floor and make it clean. Likewise, delusion is not you. You should learn to disassociate from the delusion. So therefore, sweep away the delusion on the path, and I'm not going to become them. And why? If you did that, the delusion dawn as wisdom, then even your delusions and your afflictions do not stay deluded, because you are now much more grown up and mature. So your delusion will slowly become cause of wisdom. Your delusion of, for instance, greediness. When the greediness is swept away, you practice generosity. Then you see the wisdom of generosity by practicing the misery of miserliness. And then you sweep the miserliness away, then your miserliness, the delusion, have become now generosity. So that's why the delusion become known as wisdom. If you have no discipline, you're very lazy, you're not so you don't manage your time very well, and that's your delusion. Now with the practice of Dharma, you learn to be diligent. You rise up early or stay up late or be punctual and be productive. And then you will see your laziness has now become diligence. So that's what I mean by delusion dawn as wisdom. So don't lump yourself or others with their afflictions and habits. You should disassociate the person with the action and be kind to the person. Hard to the action, Don't lump the person with action, So we have to be kind to each other. Never lump the person with the problems, the habits. We also have habits. We also have flaws. So we should learn how to sweep away the delusions and not hinder it from seeing the wisdom. So may delusion dawn as wisdom. And bless me the irreligious thought cease, meaning so that we do not have doubts and suspicion and fear and anxiety, worry, all of those things. So we should have faith. We should believe in law of karma. So that may religious thought cease, meaning believe in the karma. It's really, really good for you. Bless me, the love and compassion grow. That's right. We want our heart to be filled with loving kindness and compassion, not with enmity, resentment, bitterness, and hate and ill will and how dare you, that kind of attitude. So may we be blessed with love and compassion. Bless means change, okay? Bless is not something happened from outside. You yourself have reconstituted your mind to commit to practice loving kindness, speak kindly, think kindly, do kindly, and so that you are actually practicing loving kindness and compassion. When somebody is hard and difficult and very, very difficult, have compassion to them. They too need someone who understands and forgive them, and they will change, definitely will change. If they have never met someone who's forgiving, that's the reason why they are still angry. They never found someone who could understand and forgive them. So why do you not become the one person that will give them surprise and develop compassion? If I do this a little bit meet towards them, maybe that will help them to relieve their suffering. So therefore go out of your way a little bit to meet others' needs. That's a very good practice of compassion. May love and compassion grow. Yeah, how do compassion grow? Not by watching there. You have to do it. Compassion is a noun, but you have to make it a verb now. Now you have to kindly do it, kindly speak it, kindly think about it. May compassion dawn. And if you have loving kindness and compassion, then you will develop bodhicitta, true bodhicitta. True bodhicitta refers to the relative and ultimate bodhicitta. Yeah, relative bodhicitta itself is subdivided into wishing bodhicitta and engaging bodhicitta, and either of the wishing and engaging bodhicitta should always be complemented by the ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is that after you practice very altruistic, selfless things, you meditate on the illusoriness of the you doing, and act of doing, or object of doing. You shouldn't get attached to your good deeds, and they get attached to the doing. That's not the ultimate bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is the emptiness of self, and the emptiness of action, emptiness of merit, to which you have the danger of getting attached to. So that's the ultimate bodhicitta. So when it says, may I practice true bodhicitta, it mainly refers to relative and ultimate bodhicitta. When we say there are two bodhicitta, wishing and engaging bodhicitta is subdivision of the relative bodhicitta. The ultimate bodhicitta is the ultimate emptiness. And may I reach Buddhahood swiftly. So then you pray that ultimately may you reach Buddhahood, ultimate enlightenment. So with this in mind, then your object to refuge you visualize dissolves and then absorb into you, making yourself, your body, your thoughts, your mind all vanish inseparably in the luminosity, and there's no refuge object, no you who's going for refuge, no act of going for. There is just this incredible clarity, the ultimate Sangha. And then there is amazing emptiness. You can't see your mind is yellow or blue or old or young or male or female or Asian or Caucasian or no. There is nothing identifiable. That's one kind of a finite entity called I or me. There isn't that. There's just pure light. That emptiness is ultimate dharma. Your ultimate dharma is that. So that clarity aspect is Sangha, emptiness aspect is Dharma. The non-duality of these two is the Buddha. The quintessence of all the above is the Guru. So with this in mind, you pause there and meditate on the ultimate refuge, okay? Ultimate refuge. Ultimate refuge is not Buddha, Dharma. Ultimate refuge is transcendental. Just no thought, simply stay fully present in the non-duality of clarity and emptiness. You pause there for a while. Very good. People rushing through sadhana, I don't know why they do that. You should pause. and experience the ultimate refuge. Even if it's just 2 minutes, just stay quiet and watch the clarity, the ultimate Sangha. Watch the luminosity, the emptiness, the ultimate Dharma, non-duality, the ultimate Buddha. And their quintessence is the Guru, that your own mind is none other than the Guru. So with this in mind, you stay there very, very serene and clear and knowingly. And that is ultimate refuge. Don't just rush through reading the sadhana, trying to finish in 20 minutes. Why are you so rushing? What do you have to do? You know? Why are you so time poor to do a quality sadhana? You know, so quietly. You don't have to make a lot of noise. You just sit there, read, murmuring, whisper the sadhana, and sit there and pause and experience the true refuge in the ultimate refuge on the nature of your mind. Okay, so that's the refuge. Now, that by doing refuge, that's how you do the refuge. Yeah, how you do the refuge, and then the second is the generation of bodhicitta. Generation of bodhicitta is you renewing. If you have received bodhicitta before, like during the empowerment, you should rejoice every day and try to boost it every day. Here during the sadhana, you are doing that formally. You know, I shall reach Buddhahood to set all sentient beings from who have been my unrecognized mother of my past lives. Just as much as this my present life has come and supported me, fed me, clothed me, educated me, I have been clothed, educated, saved, and protected, loved by every single mother in all my lives. It's due to the change of our identity we don't recognize each other. Otherwise, all sentient beings are our past life mothers. Therefore, I'm going to repay their kindness by practicing this. I therefore will practice this deep yoga. You know, meditation on Avalokiteshvara is deep. You know, people talk about lower tantra, higher tantra. Come on, don't use those words bombastically too much. You know, what is the higher tantra, lower tantra? You just real practice is the compassion. That is the deep yoga. Deep yoga is the kind of a deep understanding of the importance of compassion and the need of bodhicitta. And this is the deepest teaching, most profound teaching is the bodhicitta, which is the path of all the Buddhas, which is the only path that everyone chose. They didn't practice this deity, they didn't practice that deity, they all practice bodhicitta. Even deities are symbol of the bodhicitta. Okay? So don't try to substitute bodhicitta by anything, okay? The deity itself is bodhicitta, and we manifest it in the form of Chenrezig. This is the deep and profound, which is the path of all the Buddhas. That's all the Buddhas practice like this in the past. They practice bodhicitta and then they become Buddha. They didn't become Buddha by practicing Buddhahood. They practice bodhicitta to become Buddhahood. So that's why you are renewing your wish to practice this relative and ultimate bodhicitta at all costs into everyday life. So that's the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is a prayer you say 3 times, and then think of all sentient beings whose sake you are making the promise and doing this bodhicitta. So that concludes the bodhicitta practice. Bodhicitta practice is fairly simple in terms of wording. It's a simple. Structure is also simple. It always comes after refuge, not before. It comes between the refuge and becoming the deity. So that shows the bodhicitta is the fundamental practice of the bodhisattvas. Refuge is the fundamental practice of all the Buddhists. So both pratimoksha and bodhisattva vows are taken care by taking refuge in generation bodhicitta as a preliminary. And now we move to the main part of the sadhana. The main part of the sadhana is that that all the problems come from grasping to self and thinking we are our name, our aggregates, our health, our lack of it. We are often suffering because of I and I am and I and my and all of these, I, my, I am, I'm not, I have, don't have. All this I, we're doing I too much. This ahankara, this grasping to I am, is the root cause of suffering. And so now we have to destroy that I am by this meditation on emptiness of self. And so I call this de-identification of yourself from the fixed name or culture or gender or identity you think you are. You should learn to forget you. Try to forget self. It's very important. It's not trying to practice mindfulness. Try to practice forgetfulness. Try to forget yourself. Instead of you, then you become Avalokiteshvara. So that is why the meditation on emptiness starts your main meditation. So when you say Om Swabhava, Om means homage, Swabhava, Swabhav in Sanskrit means by nature, nature of. Shuddha means pure. By nature pure. What is by nature of pure means Sarva Dharma means all phenomena. All phenomena are by nature pure. By nature pure means they are light. They don't truly exist. They're merely imputed. If they weren't imputed, they are not. It is. So if you don't call somebody a name, the person is a blank. So that's like that. Everything is a blank, emptiness. All phenomena are pure light. And so Swabhava means by nature. Shuddha means pure. Aham means I am. So actually it says homage. As all phenomena are by nature pure, I too am by nature pure. So this de-identify yourself from Janice or John or Jason or Judy, and you dissolve that, and you instantly now meditate in the ultimate, what we call the dissolution of yourself as Dharmakaya. So meditate yourself into vanishing into the state of emptiness, and there is no you, no your room, no your leg. There is just incredible, indescribable, that ineffable, transcendental peace and perfect. Try to enter into that meditation of dissolving yourself in emptiness. And this is the meditation on the no self. And because Avalokiteshvara is no self, Avalokiteshvara is completely selfless, and selflessness, and behaviorally practicing selflessness, ontologically understanding selflessness, and meditationally also meditating on the no self. So you dissolve into emptiness and pause there for at least 1 or 2 minutes. And just suspend all things, including the notion of I am, but just have a wordless, ineffable, inexpressible state of luminosity. Stay in that for a while. This is called accumulation of wisdom. So the practice of the refuge and bodhicitta accumulate merit, and meditation on emptiness accumulated wisdom. These two accumulation, merit and wisdom, will then empower you to practice Avalokiteshvara. So anyway, stay in the meditation on emptiness for a while. Don't drift your mind away. Don't make it so long and you drift away and become dull. Sadhana is very useful. It's facilitated meditation on all the teachings. You can recite a little bit and then pause. You can try to visualize it, try to feel it, and then read a little bit and pause. So here you just done that. You're just out of emptiness. There is now you're going to now re-identify in the form of Avalokiteshvara, and then that from that state of emptiness, there springs a precious wish-fulfilling tree, throne rather. And then on top of that is the lotus, which represents your relative bodhicitta. On top of that, the moon disk, which is ultimate bodhicitta. And then on that, you are Avalokiteshvara, Lord Chenrezig. You are, I sit there as the Lord Chenrezig, because this Avalokiteshvara seated cross-legged. And that's why I sit. But there are Avalokiteshvara who are standing as well, so it doesn't mean you have to always be seated to be Avalokiteshvara. Avalokiteshvara usually always is Avalokiteshvara. And your body is crystal, conch, white, bright, immaculate color. And you have the first two hands folded in your my heart. That's the kind of a prayer position. And the other two hands hold the crystal rosary on your right hand and lotus flower in your left. You are going to be the one who gives flower to everyone. Without your main purpose is to make sentient beings loved and treated with respect. So that's why you always have the flower in you. And you're going to not treat everyone as a number, but see everyone as the most important one there is for you to be kind to, respectful to. And so don't sort of ignore them as unimportant, because that's why you have a crystal bead. And you're going to give them a flower, you're going to count them important for you. So that's why your hands are holding crystal beads in your right hand, lotus in your left hand. My legs are seated, cross-legged in posture. So you should imagine you are seated in meditative posture. Seated in meditative posture doesn't mean you never do other things. You always do. But seated in meditation posture means you have made a vow to hold a vigil to be with all sentient beings until each and every one of them are liberated. And so, and then your body is completely covered in the precious ornaments, which I referred to you during the empowerment. I wouldn't mind repeating a little bit here, because the crown of Amitabha, the crown that your head is wearing, is you have completely no arrogance left. You are completely honor your guru, and you always touch his feet with your crown. You have this utmost respect to the guru, because you have no pride and arrogance when it comes to honoring your spiritual master, and therefore honoring all sentient beings. You have beautiful earrings. That means you shall not listen to any bad, unpleasant words and language of other people. Don't believe in them, particularly if they're negative. Doesn't mean you don't listen to anything at all. You should still listen to the cries and anguish and sorrow of other sentient beings, but otherwise don't listen to the aggressive and other kind of language of other people. So that's why you have the earring. And you have beautiful necklace that represent you are completely guarded. You are very practitioner of self-restraint verbally. You would not say about, against, or condescendingly to anybody. You have vow of silence, because this necklace is to mind your throat chakra and not to say unnecessary things. So Avalokiteshvara is completely covered, and you should always feel you're every day beautifully attired, and every single ornaments you wear, from the crown to the toe rings, they all are a practice of restraint. Precious to you, generosity precious. Your hand is never tight and always giving, and that's generous for you. It's very important you give. If you give, you live, they call it, and that's more than gem. Other gems you dare not to even wear yourself or use yourself, let alone give other people. Your kindness, your small acts of kindness, maybe just the half of the fruit, or a glass of water, or open the door to someone and Wait until they can find the key or something like that. Small, all these hand implements and ornaments the Avalokiteshvara is wearing symbolize your incredible presentness. You're so present and you're so helpful to sentient beings. You are like a gem. People call it gem. You're a gem. Because you have to do some things that are really makes that you are covered in gems. Because that's why the deities are covered in gems. So you should be the gemmy person. And so that is the meaning of your body covered in precious jewels. And you're a Sambhogakaya enjoyment householder. So you got beautiful long hairs. You have kept your body very elegant. Your whole body is such a liberating. Just everyone who looks at you, it inspires them with your amazing beauty and elegance. The crown, earring, they're all saying something. That you have reached certain perfection of generosity and tolerance and forgiveness and diligence. All are manifested by your jewelries. So therefore the deities' jewelries are symbol of your inner practice of Dharma, humility, tolerance, kindness, forgiveness, generosity, and concentration, and all these things are real gem, real gem, real gem. So Avalokiteshvara's gem jewelry represent what you have to cultivate from within. They are not substitutable by heavy metals like tied around your neck as a donkey or something. Why you have to wear so much there? But so this to the outer ornaments is just a representation of what inner quality you are already cultivated. So therefore, understand the jewelries the deities are wearing, and your hair is long and tied up beautifully on your crown, and on top of your crown is Guru Amitabha, to who you see as the embodiment of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, and particularly Amitabha on top of your head. Always your lineage gurus. He's always there. Wherever you go, you always never part from Guru Amitabha on top of your head. So you look appearance, you are beautiful, but your appearance is but nature of light and reflection. There is no tangible Avalokiteshvara that is you. Your appearance is like a illusory like appearance of Avalokiteshvara, but your compassion towards sentient beings as real as they need to be to tailor their needs. So that's why you have now become Avalokiteshvara. Now next is you pray to the Guru Amitabha on top of your crown. On top of your crown you visualize a tiny Amitabha seated on you. You are Avalokiteshvara, your Guru is Amitabha. Then you make the supplication, prayer to the Guru Amitabha. What are you praying to? On behalf of sentient beings. Sentient beings are voiceless. They don't know how to do. They don't know how to believe. Most of them don't believe. Few of them completely condescendingly reject. Few of them who know, they still do not know whether they can ask or something. So on behalf of the voiceless sentient beings, you're praying that all sentient beings be free from their basic negative karmic bodies, physical, verbal, mental, and whatever evil obscurations and cognitive obscurations they might have. One is praying to have these things lifted and released, so that you have the two hips of merit, hips of wisdom. Hips of merit is your diligence, your kindness, your tolerance, your studiousness. These are the merit, merit. And the wisdom is not realizing emptiness, Bless me that the deep meditation in being able to do this reading and then sit there with this understanding. And may I finally attain swift Buddhahood. So that supplication you make 3 times. And then you, because this practice is what we call Mahakaruna and Mahamudra. So you're going to combine the two Mahakaruna and Mahamudra by meditating on the emptiness of samsara and nirvana, meaning that's the duality of samsara and nirvana, joy and woeful state. They're all nothing but one's own mental designations. It's your mind that calling them. Otherwise, there's no samsara independent of nirvana, nirvana independent. They both are mutually inclusive. And so, therefore, neither there is samsara, nor there is nirvana, neither there is joy, nor there is sadness, because it is all figment of your own mental imagination. But that when you check that mind, whether it's yellow or white or young or old or this race or that culture, you could not spot the mind. It doesn't have a color to see, it doesn't got a sound to listen to, it is devoid of any of them. Therefore, it has no form, that it no color, it is not born, it is not, abiding, unabiding, no, it is ceasing. Even though you think there is no mind, the mind is still ever presently there. And so with this mind, pay bare naked awareness, and then let the mind rest in this infinite, ineffable, indescribable state of mind that is the Mahamudra. There's no you, there's no meditator, there's no meditator. There just is this indescribable state. And so you try to allow the mind to stay in that relaxed state without making too much effort, and as long as you're able to. So sadhana is a very facilitated method. Again, I would recommend 2-3 minutes pause there before you jump into reciting the mantra. Some people say a miserable verse on paying homage to Avalokiteshvara, they straight away do the mantra. They don't know how to do sadhana, do they? They don't know how to do the refuge, they don't know how to do the bodhicitta, let alone they know how to meditate in the form of the deity or emptiness. But when you know the sadhana very well, there are a few places you should pause, and then you visualize, then you recite, and then the next and next. So here you have now reached the sadhana of reaching to do the mantra recitation. After you have become the deity, or become the Buddha, Avalokiteshvara, you need to speak and teach like the Avalokiteshvara. It is to symbolize that you recite the mantra. When you recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, Om is a homage to the homage. Ma is the seed syllable of Asura, the demigod. Ni is the seed syllable of the human beings, yellow in color. Pe is a lighter blue, that represents animal kingdom. Me is a red color, that's in the hungry ghost. And Hung is in the hell, dark blue. So all of these 6 syllables, Om Mani Padme Hum, is radiating these 6 color rays of light from your heart. And then this is invoking the mercy and blessings of the Buddhas. And then at the same time you send the blessing to sentient beings who are all liberated. So with this kind of faith and devotion, you should recite the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Even minimum just 1 round of mala doesn't even take 2 minutes. It's not the duration of time or length of time, but the quality of your attention and serenity with which you should do the sadhana. So with this in mind, you recite Om Mani Padme Hum, and then give blessings when you're reciting mantra. Even though you're staying in your room, but you're thinking of all sentient beings, wherever they are, never too far, never too alien to you. All of them are your past life mothers. For them, you're sending this white light somewhere, green light somewhere, yellow light in human realm, light blue in animal kingdom, hungry ghosts, red light, and then dark blue light in hell realms. With these in mind, you recite the mantra. Mantra recitation is just a verbal, whisperingly, but your mind should be completely intact and present and attentive to the plight of all sentient beings in different realms. And it's a grace to aid beings of the 6-fold realms. Yeah, you are giving blessings and gracious blessings and gifts to all beings in different realms. And then you recite the mantra while doing that. The mantra recitation should be not too loud, not too soft, not too quickly, not too slowly. But this mantra is very short. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. You can use Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme, Om Mani Padme. If you say the mantra quite of that speed for a couple of minutes, it already will bless you in an incredible way. All of a sudden, it has made you put into meditative state. And so, with that in mind, you should play great respect to the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, and then don't move, don't go anywhere, don't try to do other things. Just recite the mantra and send the rays of light to the enlightened one to supplicate, to bring their blessings. Then imagine all the 6 rays of light. The white Om goes to the Deva realms, Ma, yellow, green, so the Ma, Ni goes to demigods, yellow syllable Ni goes to the human realms, and then light blue syllable Me goes to the animal kingdom, and red syllable Me goes to the hungry ghosts, and dark blue Hung goes to the hell being. So with this in mind, you stay very present in doing the mantra, knowing what you should, and visualizing and seeing yourself and feeling the change. So with this in mind, you recite the mantra, 6 syllable mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. And then you recite, if you have time permits, you can recite the long dharani, Avalokiteshvara dharani, which is very famous. And so then you have basically finished. During the mantra recitation, you should stay very present, and you should feel that you are communicating with every sentient being in 6 realms. You are hearing, you know their suffering, their problems. They themselves have no idea what to do anything, but you are including them in your prayers and sending lots of blessings. Imagine each of their sufferings of decadence in the Deva realms, jealousy in the demigod realm, fear in the human realms, and stupidity and servitude and torture in the animal realm, and hunger and thirst in the hungry ghost realm, and fear, excessive suffering of heat and cold and torture in the hell realm. So with this in mind, you stay very present as Avalokiteshvara, but you're surveying the plight of all sentient beings everywhere, and you can see so many parts of the world have a lot of sufferings, disasters, famine, war, and incredible injustice system. You just think of all of them in your heart, and then may they all be free from that, and may they find a way out of this more peacefully, and so on. You just have to really stay present in the recitation mantra, whether the 6 syllable mantra alone, or just the Om Mani Padme Hum, or the long dharani, whatever you can. Then now we come to the conclusion. The conclusion is you dissolve yourself. Either you dissolve totally, or you don't dissolve yourself totally. The throne and lotus dissolve into you. Your forearm become 2 arm, and you just return to your post-meditational, what you call Avalokiteshvara incognito. So that is how you conclude the sadhana. And then at the last but not least is dedication of merits, which are on at the end of the text, which is sharing whatever merit you did through the sadhana. May you have the ability to remember all that you are Avalokiteshvara, all sound is mantra, all thoughts are wisdom, all sentient beings are your subject and object of your compassion. So you always think of Guru Amitabha onto a crown, so that you never forget to do this. So therefore you always have your Avalokiteshvara mantra on your lips, whether you're driving, walking, or things. If you just quickly say the mantra, it will calm you and bless you like no other. Make a commitment to actually sit down and recite the mantra at least 1 round of mala each day, if possible, together with the sadhana practice. And usually we lead we have a weekly practice of this Avalokiteshvara, 7 p.m. in Australian Standard Time. And anybody wanted to join that, please do so, because all those people receiving the empowerment, if you have the opportunity to join the online practice 7 p.m. I'm sure Sakya Friends will be able to give you the link, and then you should learn to join wherever you are in the different parts of the world. You can join with other fellow Sangha members. Join that. But if you don't have a time and opportunity to sit together and do practice with others, even with this teaching, most people don't know how to begin. So therefore, we are not saying, oh, just give empowerment, then not teach sadhana. But teach sadhana and then not give practice session. We actually have a platform we practice every week. So you're most welcome to join 7 p.m. Canberra time. Um, so please feel free to join the sadhana practice. That way, then you will learn to boost your practice regularly. Once you start practicing once a week with everyone, and then you gain very familiar how to do the practice. Of course, in tonight's session, we can only give you this teaching and empowerment. And now I'm going to give the oral transmission, the lung of the sadhana in Tibetan. So with this, with receiving lung is just a reading transmission. So you don't have to do anything but sit there just for a while and just listen to it, but reflect on how important it is to practice compassion in your everyday life. So with this in mind, you will need to receive the oral transmission of the sadhana. Om Sodi Sida Lama Choedak Rinpoche Deva Jirun de la Lama La Choedak Sanye Choedak Chola Choedak Ginula She Choedak Chola Samchen Tamji Yadu Sanye Komande Te Choedak Tingin Samo Gamde Nyamza Lama Jeo Sumba Wajido Sawa Nama Sumba Wajido Hong Dong She Jebe Rangi Lume Domani Do Gomara Nirani Ke Jigarin Boche Tepe Manda Dukje Jimo Kono Kawa Jaji Chajo Cha Tamboni Doga Tamajana Sanje Tamji Simjana Zebako ye ome tenwa kawa yunji ome rinpoche tenwa pe manzima xia rinpoche ujian nian gujian la sobe rinpoche jian tamche jian ta nazo jian nazo nama kule ze pa tume wa zhiwe simchen yin tuyan zeba kawa jiwa na sanje tamche ji yi xie chik tu diwa ngo pa tume ba ur jian ba nang la rang xin me ba me lon nang ke su nyi tawa kam la yi chung se xia tene jiwa pa me pa tume ba la chum tene te yi xik ba tra chuma yang taba zoba sanje se pa tume ba dagi dik pa tene pa tamche chan yi so nam te yi so yun jian zeba yang tabe tingin gyula jian nyu tu nama zo jingi lab zo si ye nying takpa ne len sum so wa de tene dewa dan dunga dan korwa dan nyang len dewe tsawa tamche rangi semi yinpa la te sem teang ta na ka to de yisu ma ru ji jik da duma yang mi mi be ngo dong ngo me be rang de ma ne jing ge me be ge dang bo gyu dong ge wa me be che de ba me be bar de ne be dong ne ju me be che jik ba me be tamang ga be dong be dong be ye dang za wa me je zhe ba tam je de nam ga de wo xie zhe ba je la ce ma da number me do ba ga me do yela me je ba zhe zhe yi gang de lo hle ji lo de nyam ba je de chi ne gong ba dang sen me zhe wa nang de ne ba yu rin de zhong de ne rang ge ning ge ri gong ba le nga ji chen wa ze zhe de sang je chang je ji tu ji gun da la jing ji lo ji sem chen tam ji de ze ba ge o ma ne pe me on xie ji nu ji da ba da sa wa gewa zewa de za sang ji to ba ji je cho lam ji ce ang rang ge du be ne de wa jian da rāñi chum de ko bo tse pa de me chep ji chu tu ji chu nga ja da ji ne ba yin me sam ba da de me ra de da du ne jo be tsen de tse ren yin pa de ju ba na xi wa da jie wa chi ma de wa jin ji xin gom de jie ne yu du zo be sang ji to ban ju wo pa pa tu ji chu cha ja sung du ju nyam su sa ja wa chen bo sa je be me nga sa mon de rang ge lo ma mo don za ge Mugu Purusha Soatabango Pagba Pagba. This is the sadhana written by one transmission I gave it by Chogyal Pakpa, because he wrote this to his Mongolian devotee called Moton Tsage Jupur, must be a Mongolian name. This is the oral transmission I gave. Of course, there are other versions of sadhana, but they're all essentially same. So with this, we have now concluded the lung and translate lung, which is oral transmission aware. So in this way, by doing the sadhana every day, remembering the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, always make a habit. It will bless you that even when you die, you will not go to the lower realms, but you will be reborn in the Sukhavati and pure realm. And you should always learn to use the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum. When somebody dies or whatever, use to recite Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Hum. You should do that very regularly. So therefore, it has enormous merit by doing this. So with this, we would like to conclude. Thank you very much for Sakya Friends and all of you amazing, hardworking translators for in many languages tonight. And so all of the good work that everybody do this. And what we say, engaging bodhicitta is like this. You're doing this for the benefit of all sentient beings. You're giving your time, you're giving energy, and without all of you volunteering to do this, of course, I wouldn't be able to do this. So all of you at Sakya Friends work very hard to make all of these events beneficial to all of you. I'm sure through this you will benefit enormously. So with this in mind, we will conclude here. I'll do the short dedication merits in Tibetan. So thank you very much. O sonam de damje zebanya damne nyebe dana bamje de jegana je balandro sibe zolandro wandro warjo janjo zimjo rumbo je maje banam jeju je jevanyam bam gona gonda be wara jo minjur lumbo kuye raje yala rojo zangad Yave gozondo je raje yo gewandi enyodo de jene zewando jenando achi jamal Teya zalanga vaya bama zimjen damje dedan denjo jengendo damje dado donwa danjanjo zimba ganda zay teda gunje manandro barajo. That's all, everyone. Thank you very much. And see you next time. Take care.
Thank you so much, dear Rinpoche. Dear Rinpoche, could you please give us lung for long dharani also?
Lung for long dharani. The lung for long dharani, of course, I can do. Yes, that's no problem. Lung for long dharani, sure, I can chant you. Yes. Namo Ranajaya, Nama Arya Jinasagara, Vajrayana Bhuyo Rajaya, Tatangataya, Radhe Samya Sambuddhaya, Namasawa Tatangatembe, Arahatembe, Samya Sambuddhambe, Namasawa Arya Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattvaya, Mahasattva, Mahakaruna, Tadyata Om Dara Dara, Diri Diri, Duru Duru, Erevada, Chale Chale, Prajale, Prajale, Kusume, Kusume, Vara, Ili Mili, Chitinjola, Mabanaya Sowa, Tadyata Om Dara Dara, Diri Diri, Duru Duru, Etewada, Chile Chile, Parachala, Parachala, Kusume, Kusume, Vara Ili Mili, Chitinjola, Mabanaya Sowa, Mane Beme Hong, Sonam Diya, Tamse Zegwanya, Tamnanye Vedana, Yagana Jabalandrova, Zebe Zolandrova, Sajipe, Jujamada, Rally Jenin, the Jambada Zanja Junam. Dogonam da jino java yamam gurum budam bodhisattva sabare vara na mendala buzamenga samud sabarana samaya. Thank you.